Good morning. It's Thursday, 19th of March. We have a new day and a new situation. A recap of yesterday. We had quite a lot of action going on yesterday on the DAX. There was a tremendously uh, falling market, even after hours, or especially after hours. So we started with a short, which was stopped out. Then we had a long position on a breakout, which was stopped out. And we had another long, also stopped out. And we had a short, but it was stopped out for break even. Then we had a long on a breakout, which was stopped out for full risk. And another long also for full risk. So that was too much. An add-on here because it was almost a legitimate breakout. But only went up to 80 pips, so we couldn't take profit. That was stopped out for break even. And another long here, also full risk, so that was too much. Then a breakout downward in this trade, they gave us 200 pips. Then another add-on, and this one was a big winner. I held it all the way down here. It was almost 500 pips. So that is, of course, back on the back of the news of on an attack on the strait, on the field, sorry, in Qatar, gas fields, oil fields. So um, I tried to enter a reactionary long in here. I was mistaken. That was, of course, not yet clear what happened and if it's going to be a big news or not. So I then tried short, but it was stopped out. There was some chop around in here. So I tried to enter because the zone presented itself, but it was stopped out for 1/3 of the loss. And here another entry here where I thought this would gonna continue, but it went all the way to the support zone. Lesson for the future to be more patient. But I use more or less the same distance of a pullback as in here. So 100 pips. I thought about somewhere around here. Actually, should have been here. Yeah, I should have been more patient essentially. Yeah. So another short which was stopped out. Again, this was a choppy area. I didn't want to risk too much. Then a 50 pip, so 1 unit of risk, not even that, gain. And it continued downwards. Of course, we were in position and it stopped us out here, where we are right now. The price is moving heavily in the DAX, and we might have some reaction to the upwards today, but we'll see. Maybe we continue downwards. In any case, the initial move will now fade. So I will buy this about 20 pips from here. Because as we recently discussed, the first move seems to be a fake out. It's just a question of how big the fake out would be. I'm guessing around 20 pips from the candle, but we already had a fake out right now. So I'll just set a buy limit in here and have a full risk 60 pips of stop loss. The idea is that the first breakout is a false one. That has been, I've checked it. There were only 1 or 2 days in the entire month where that was the market moved generally in the first breakout, so I have to adjust my strategy and make sure that we are a little bit more careful. and I'll also limit the moving into positions more. Looking at the emissions trade, which I was looking at earlier, we are stopped out here. That continues to move downwards, so the stop out was correct, and hopefully you will have some opportunity to enter again. But looking at this, I might actually consider shorting here because this is the first time in many months that we have actually gone below this support line, which has formed over the years, really, right? 2026 right now. And then this has been going on since 2020, well, 2020 period. So interesting to see that. VIX has rebounded, so we are now in loss. We were in profit halfway to the target. We are now at a loss, in loss, but it's okay. We will be adding somewhere around the level of it's around the level of 30 on the previous high, and hoping for a rebound to the downside after this massive war. Gold, of all things, has dropped significantly. I have a very small gold position. I would like to add to it, but for now it doesn't look like there will be a good opportunity. But yes, it's there, and it's pulling back heavily. I think to maybe put it on a 4-hour chart. Yeah, quite significant move. We're approaching the 500 moving average. Bitcoin standing still, which speaks to its. I think it gives its credit, and I actually might consider going long in here because if Bitcoin doesn't behave in a narrative way in such a situation, I think we are in a good spot to actually buy, and the value is stable. But we'll see. Yeah, now we're waiting for the either a break to the top. We also need to acknowledge that move beyond 60 pips to the upside would mean that we invalidate the breakout. So we're no longer in a fake breakout situation. And if it moves to the downside, I will switch this from buy to sell on a traditional strategy. Apologies. I see. Just the okay. We're now invalidating that. So that breakout, I will now sell.
and we want to watch this. It's HSBC. So people familiar with the matter have said that HSBC is considering significant job cuts as they experiment with gaining more efficiency because of AI. We want to see how this plays out because there's negativity now, but there's a flip story that I think we should watch out throughout the course of the day, which is some investors like the announcement of AI-related job cuts because it means efficiency, because it means companies are spending less on labor. So that is a story to watch out. Not huge moves right now, but let's see if that flips to green or stays in the red throughout the day.
Thanks, Charlie. Charlie Wells with a rundown of some of those movers this morning. Something else, Tom, that's on the move is the gilt market, and we have gilt yields higher across.
Okay. So nothing much happening since yesterday, as you had heard. I will be treating this as a normal day. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we have a significant, I need to remove these. We have heard the lows of this range, which has established itself since, let's call it beginning of March. And that's news actually, I mean, you can see it shook the markets significantly. I don't know if we will have any lasting consequences of it. I would say if there is a problem with the LNG distribution, that would impact some economies as well. It shouldn't impact the oil that much, but oil is climbing, right? So oil is now at $107. That is on a fresh set of futures. So we just rolled over in 2 days ago. So it doesn't seem like US is in control from my perspective. It just looks like a bad deal over there. On the other hand, we've had wars going on practically non-stop in recent years, especially in the Middle East. So maybe everybody's used to it now. I see that CNBC is starting to talk about AI again. So we're back to normal.
Domain is not just consisting of drones. We had a big discussion on that when we looked to the Ukraine, but now we see high precision strikes. We need the need for fighter jets, and we need integration capabilities from drones, missiles, and fighter jet at the end of the day. So the view on the air domain is, for me, one big lessons learned out of the Middle East conflict. And the second one is that the need for air defense will increase massively. I think free maritime ways, but also free airspace is the basis of the economy of these Gulf states. And this is why I expect that there will be massive demand for military equipment capabilities, but first and foremost, air defense.
But it also has shown, Christian, how...
Okay. I'm looking at the 8 o'clock level. This is usually the level where the market, maybe not usually, but often market returns to that level. You could see like here, it returned, right? And then, yeah, we were going through this yesterday, so you can watch that stream, but that level is quite often being revisited after the opening, and it is lower here. In fact, it would signify the break of the support line here. So I'm a little bit hesitant about the long. On the other hand, if you look at the 15-minute chart, the double bottom scenario is quite clearly being drawn right now. So, people who have been caught off guard by this attack here, that was a non-stop waterfall all the way down to this level. So I would expect some reaction to the upside to regain the market. I'll have to watch the volume levels, right? The volume levels yesterday were exceptional, I think, especially in the middle of the day. You can see usually it has this hollow middle in terms of volume profile. Right now, this was huge here. And so we are right now in a over 500 level still. Let's see if it holds out. I would expect that it would go up. But if not, we might continue the downward trend. And I apologize. Yeah, 500, of course, 1000 here. We see 500 here in this chart. We should maybe add the 1000 here. In fact, maybe let's change this to 1000. This is a 15-minute chart, so yeah, this is better. So now it shows you that you don't have a significant super high volume. That might signify a move upward. Bottom line is whatever happens, we're gonna be there. Okay, so we're approaching the breakout levels again. And again, a bounce. We're in a sell stop scenario, so let's go. We are in trade right now, going short. I've pulled back. Back into profit. It's 8 o'clock, so we have reached the 8 o'clock level. Let's see how the market reacts here. I would expect we will at least swipe these lows here. And the first take profit is 100 pips from our entry area, so right around here. Makes sense. I would like that. And as per our strategy, the moment we leave this candle and we return to the opening range. So if we just go here and then a little bit down like this, let me just draw some lines. So let's say we go, we have arrows in this shit platform. So this that goes up and goes down, and I would expect down like this and that. So the moment you see this happen here to this level, we would sell again, adding to the trade. I'll set the sell limit. That's a strong move. I was swiping the morning lows, and I see that the these are individual stock from from the Deutsche index, DAX index. So we can see that they are moving lower on a 4-hour chart, as we are significantly off the tops. We have broken that support, but that has been broken through earlier as well, so doesn't mean much. But if we get down to 1900s, it'll be interesting, because this is the last support area here. We have taken profit. So that is now 2 risk units in profit. Let's see if we can somehow get in on the retracement. There you go. We'll enter again. Market is dropping fast. Let's see if we hold. 50 pips of loss. So we made just 100 pips. Now we're risking 50 again. It's 9:30. So what's going on here? What's the news here today? We have, okay, rates decision by the ECB. That's 2 o'clock. Jobless claims, 1:30. And then, this is not really important. Okay, we just lost this position here. Patience, you see, patience is a virtue. So we have now given up half the profit. Let's see if we touch on this level here. There's of course an extreme FOMO going on. If this market starts dropping without me, I would be very disappointing. Very disappointing for me. But we might just as well swipe these lows and then go up, right? So let's stick to what we know we have to do. We have that sell in here and this one here. I'm trying to get my hands on the data. In fact, there are some sources where you can get free market data, but if not, I'll consider also paying. It's fine. Let's hang back, see what happens. I will re-enter the short from here probably if this candle closes like that. That's a doji, but with a huge wick up top, so there's a big rejection. But let's see how it finishes. The overarching sentiment and the momentum seems to be pointing heavily downwards. The liquidity is in fact rising. The volume. The volume is rising. So the VIX is also going higher and quite aggressively. So let's see. Struggle is real here. But the longer we spend in here, the less chance of a breakdown we have, because there's some demand at this level that is preventing it from falling further. Looks like there's some heavy support in here. And the candles have bounced off this area several times. So if you break below, I'll be looking to sell. If we stay in here, I'll actually be looking to buy when I come back to these levels. The rationale is we can see that quite often that in these uncertain situations, there's somehow this hardcore demand that just buys up everything on attempt to move higher and to squeeze out the shorts. Now the volume is quite significant, but it's not crazy. So if it keeps up, okay, we're moving to the zone. Let's take a super short stop loss buying here. I mean, this would be half a risk, and then we're gonna sell if it goes below. That's what I see. 60 pips is not ideal. We are now in a vaulting long position, hoping for a retracement to the levels here. But so far we had lower highs and lower lows for that matter, so it's not particularly optimistic. But I'm betting that this support here might actually hold, at least temporarily, of course, right? The bears get tired and the bulls have some larger capital behind them, then and we are in a quite interesting area because this is becoming this is close to a support level. Let's go to 4-hour charts. Yeah, so this is very close to this level from November last year, and then again from June last year, and we were only at these levels and then in May, right? So this is the last line of defense, really. Now, I'm not saying it can go lower. It did already, and then it returned, right? But you can see here, the market was dumping, absolutely dumping, and then just stopped and rebound. So the V-shaped recovery is something that we see quite often recently. Okay, we're out though. So we have broken through the support. Now let's see if we manage to stay inside. And there's obviously going to be a return to this level. I would ideally like to sell somewhere here. Gold is dumping hard. Moving to my other account. And so I want to sell somewhere here. I lost 30 pips on that. Of course, minus the additional stuff that we lost. We actually cleared out most of the profit from the initial position, but that's the buffer we have. And we're going aggressively down. I'll add to the position, stop loss to break even on this one. Let's see if it's a waterfall. And this already is quite a significant drop from the opening levels. We're talking 160 pips, right? So on a 4-hour chart, we're just breaking through the support level here. I'll see if it goes. Looks quite decisive. Stopped out. Oh, what was this? Okay, we're selling off our stock here. I had some sell stops on the Euro stock. We'll see if it's a good decision or not. All right. Retracement is there. Hopefully, and a nice rejection. Beautiful. It's a fake out though. So as a 3-minute, I don't trust the 3-minute candle. Again, I always consider it to be devious. In a 5-minute interval, the 3-minute area is where it presents you a false picture quite often. But the shock is real. And if we punch through this, this might get ugly. See, I think what the news showed to everyone is that we are no longer in a environment where Trump is controlling the war, that Iran has capacity to strike and is not going to shy away from it. Told you about the 3-minute fake picture, right? This is what's bothering me. I get these middle positions taken out by the pullbacks, and then I just have the worst price position and just keeps bouncing like this, right? Um, right at the bottom of this support zone here. Man, that's a fight. This is a place where we actually need to bounce. So, in fact, in my opinion, if we're staying here for a longer time and we do not have this bounce, oh, it might be bad. It might be going down further south. Now, what are we doing here? Are we going continuing or bouncing? Which is it? $9.50, last 10 minutes. Looks like a continuation to me. Let's see if it breaks below these lows. You never go to the 1-minute chart, but it sometimes presents a clearer picture, right? Looks at these bear flags, quite clear. This one is longer though, but yeah, weak. On the 15-minute, oh, we're just straight down, right? There's no question. And the wicks were long, but so far you haven't made a lower low yet here. That's one thing to notice. But we're just halfway into the candle. Thinking about the stop loss, should I move this back? Just decides to touch on this low here. So we have punched through the lows. Are we going to close below the low? I mean, I would say you should, right? Looks like it's poised to do that. Yeah. It's not a straight forward, just not going straight down, it's fighting, so mm. The buying side has not given up yet. Yeah, 5 minutes. It's just a wick. Volume is holding. Yeah. Now the question is it all because of Kuwait? Or is it because of the Fed decision? You could argue. Oh, there's bounce. Interesting. That will actually go up. God damn it. Hard to see how this will bounce in here, but it may. We had 160 pips of loss, right? As in the index fell almost 200 pips downside. Might just as well bounce in here. That was a dodgy candle. Thinking, well, let's see what happens. Maybe we still get the opportunity to sell down here, I mean up there, as we continue lower. I will hang back in 5 minutes, see what happens. Oil is steadily moving up. Emissions are dropping at this near zone, right? It's zero thing. VIX is holding steady here. Let's have a minimum sell side here. Maybe we get lucky. It is real. If that drops, and then there's a waterfall. I would expect some chop over here in this resistance level, right? So, I mean, support. Yeah, briefly went below that zone that I drew. And now going back a little bit. We will remove these. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to remove that. Okay. I'll definitely remove the buy stop though. Let's keep it where it is. This is our sell limiter. Oh wow. That looks like a rejection. All right. We're dropping. Okay. Yeah, we're approaching 10 o'clock. Let's hang back. I will set a sell stop in here in case it goes even lower. I would ideally like to have a stop loss, trading stop loss. But and then here 60 points as well. And then here see what happens. Ah, so bouncing. Now is this going to be a proper bounce? And I think it might go up here. Well, let's see. Let's see. We're set. If it goes lower, we add the trade automatically. If it goes higher, we'll try to sell here on a stroke of luck. It might just happen right now. Then it stops both positions out. Then we're in free fall. If it continues lower, we still get these trades. Unless of course it chops around and just progressively takes me out, which is also possible. But we'll have these alerts, so I'll know that something happens. Or it might go up here and then we'll try to enter short in here. If it goes all the way up to here, then we'll continue to the upside on a rebound trade. At which point, of course, we'll be heavily in loss. For now, we are slightly in profit, half a risk unit. Let's hang back.